Hi, hi, hi. It's 11 a.m. and Saturday. We're going back to
Hey.
WHITESPACE. We're back again with me, Tianisa, as a CS Academy, and
MJ.
MJ as a
Mm.
website designer. First thing first, this is a special episode because we're going to deliver in English, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And we're going to talk about healthy eating. And what is healthy eating, MJ?
um, I think healthy eating primarily is obviously eating food that is beneficial for your well-being in terms of growth, nutrition, and all those
Mm-hmm.
types of things. Whether it be a mix of what carbs, proteins, fatty acids, and so on, in order to hopefully prolong a pain-free long life, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and also to help develop your IQ and all kinds of things like that. Yeah,
Okay.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what the difference between healthy eating in Australia and Indonesia? And for your
Uh,
information, MJ is a native speaker from Australia.
yeah. Um, well, I guess a lot is different in Australia in terms of cultural aspects, which I guess we'll talk about that later.
Mm.
But I think in Australia, a lot of the time, most people there are quite sports orientated in that their
Mm.
whole life has been revolving around healthy food in order to accommodate that type of lifestyle. So they learn about nutrition, they learn about the right amount, of carbs and for energy and proteins for building up their muscles and strength and, you know, keeping hydrated and exercising. And, it's this whole lifestyle that, I'd say in general, a lot of Australians are,
Mm.
are into.
So is
Yeah.
there school provide free meals
No,
in every lunch? Oh no.
no, that's an
Mm.
American thing. But,
Okay.
well, I don't know, maybe there's some schools, I don't know, but they'd
Mm.
probably be private schools. I don't
Mm.
necessarily say that it would be free because you'd have to pay for it somehow. But
Okay.
at public schools, obviously the canteen would be following some type of guideline in terms of providing, nutritional foods.
So you
Um,
prefer cooking than by?
yeah. Well, yeah.
That's
I mean,
pretty
my whole
good.
life, my
Mm.
parents have brought us up on eating a good substantial amount of food in that, it follows the food pyramid, a good base of oats, vegetables, and dairy products, and so on. Um, all types of food.
Okay, but in here in Indonesia, we're known as for healthy five perfect, or also known as 4 sehat 5 sempurna. So actually, it consists of rice or any side dish,
Mm.
fruits, and vegetables. But ironically, in Indonesia, we're actually always eating rice
Mm.
in breakfast, in
Yeah.
lunch, in dinner, and that's actually not really bad habit. But we
No.
can exchange it into another carbs like
Yeah.
potatoes or
Yeah. In
other.
moderation, mix it up. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, rice in Indonesia or Asia in general is a staple. So it's a
Mm.
it's a base. Obviously, you'd have to mix it up with vegetables and proteins and so on. But yeah, it's funny like talking to Indonesians how they're like, if I haven't eaten rice, I haven't
Mm.
eaten a meal. So
Mm.
yeah, it's the same in Australia or a lot of Western countries. They just eat potato all the time.
Mm.
I
Potato,
got to
yeah.
the point where I'm sick of eating potato because they'd have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In
Hmm.
some variety
But
or
funny
form.
thing is, even noodles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
that's
eating
wheat,
Indomie
isn't it?
with rice, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It carbs plus carbs.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a big problem.
It's unhealthy things, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, since coming to Indonesia, like, yeah, nutrition, or what's the word? Uh, you're not getting the right amount of nutrition, and
Mm.
so, yeah, a lot of the locals are eating Indomie every
Yes,
day and so on
Indomie
like that.
for
Yeah.
our
It's an economic issue.
daily
Yeah.
needs. Yeah.
But one thing that's really great
Mm.
with Indonesia is that you've got a lot of local produced foods,
Mm-hmm.
like farms
Oh
producing
yeah, yeah, yeah.
vegetables, and you go to the markets or you get it
Mm.
delivered to your house, and things like that, which is something that Australia is missing, I guess. At
Mm.
least in this day and age, like maybe in the 80s, they had the vegetable guy would come around, but
Mm.
nowadays it's all bought at the local supermarket, and
Yeah.
yeah, who knows what process has gone on with that in terms of chemicals and yeah.
The organic
Mm.
things. So what is so challenging about healthy eating compared in Indonesia and Australia?
Well, I think one benefit of in Australia you've got so many different varieties of food, but like for example the beef industry is huge, so it's
Mm.
relatively cheap to buy beef and meat
Oh.
products, but when it comes to vegetables it's quite expensive. So I was just reading something the other day, a Mediterranean salad meal, which is basically
Mm.
salad with beans and maybe
Oh,
some
okay.
cheeses. And
Mm.
that was going to cost one person around $80 a week to eat that
Oh.
type of food. And that's heaps for the average person, really. Um, so, imagine having to feed a whole family of four. So vegetables are quite expensive because a lot of
Mm.
the time it's produced on farms that are, far out in the middle of nowhere, and they need to be distributed by trucking and all kinds of things, creating
Mm.
a carbon footprint, all this kind of stuff.
So meat is the
Yeah.
main course, yeah.
Mm.
Then other side dish.
Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of Australians, when I say in general,
Mm.
they they usually eat meat
Mm.
and potato,
Okay.
and maybe some salad. I'm
Ah,
talking in
yeah, yeah.
general. I still know people that that's all they eat. They're too
Mm.
scared to venture into, the global option of
Mm.
food types, Indian, Greek,
Mm.
Thai, whatever, there's just a million options out there. But a lot of them are too scared because that's just all they know. I guess you could say this, a lot of Indonesians are too scared to
Nah.
branch out as well.
In
It's just what they
Indonesia,
know.
it depends on the areas.
Yeah.
Like if you are in coastal areas such as Sumatra or any other coastal areas,
Mm.
the fish could be cheaper than
Yeah.
other.
It's definitely a location thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are many types of origin fish like catfish or ikan lele if you know,
Ah,
and then Indonesian mackerel or ikan kembung. Have you ever tried ikan kembung
I don't know.
before?
I'd have to look. I'd have to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've eaten. I
Yeah.
would think almost
Oh,
everything,
you can
but I
find it
don't
in
know.
a traditional market.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is it big? A
Yeah,
big one?
it's medium, I
Yeah.
guess.
Mm.
Hmm. Jadi gitu guys,
Yeah.
perbedaannya kalau misalnya di Australia sama di Indonesia itu lebih murah daging ya daripada di Indonesia. Di Indonesia kan termasuk mahal. Itu bisa jadi karena living cost-nya juga seperti itu. Nah, let's move to another
Everything's
topic.
relative, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, let's move
Mm.
to the another topic.
Okay.
So, how could you arrange your diet in a daily basis? So
Yeah.
basically, diet is commonly known as reducing fat in your body, but
Mm.
what is actually diet?
Um. Well, I guess it's just you got to mix it with lifestyle, I guess. But because like if you're trying to do a diet to lose weight, then I think 99% of the time it's not going to work unless you live like that for the rest of your life. But I think it's more about maintaining the basis of what is considered nutritious in terms of following the nutrition guidelines, the pyramid, the food pyramid, and giving you the base
Oh,
materials
okay, okay.
to based on global health organizations or whatever,
Mhm.
um, just to live
So it's more like eating
healthily.
pattern.
Right?
It's more like eating pattern or
Well, it's just knowing what is good and what's bad. So a lot of people
mm,
they still eat a lot of margarine, for example, which is
mm,
processed type fats, whereas you could probably use, you know, olive oil or something like that. You know, you got to try and use different types of fats that aren't processed for a number of reasons, like avocado and and those types of fats. Um, yeah, so you're trying to steer away from salt, sodium count. I think it's nothing more than 5 milligrams or something like that per day.
Yeah. Talking about avocado, they use avocado as main course, but
Yeah,
here it's more
it's like
like
a drink.
avocado juice. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a drink
Actually,
for.
this is the first time I experienced that when I
How's the
came here.
taste?
Oh, it's delicious. Yeah,
Okay.
I love avocado.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think it's just basically, knowing responsibly as an adult what you should be eating.
Mm.
There's no excuse in this day and age. We've got access to more information than humanity has ever had in the history of mankind on the internet. There's a million websites out there on nutritional, healthy eating,
Yes.
and diets and so on. But
Mm.
yeah, I mean, when you say diet, like I said, it's you got to look at it more as a lifestyle rather than thinking that it's going to change you to become skinnier or something.
Yeah.
Because again, if you're trying to lose weight, then yeah, it's all about limiting the amount of the calorie intake
Mm.
versus the amount of energy that you burn or whatever. I'm not a nutritional
Yeah, because
scientist or anything like
it's
that,
not
but
only about how you're eating, but like
looking
you
at
need to
what you're eating,
exercise. Yeah, that's
at the
right.
calories and all that kind of stuff.
At
Yeah.
least. Yeah.
But as for planning, well, yeah. If you're talking about people in with a sports mind,
Mhm.
they're usually thinking like a month
Mm.
ahead. So they're planning each week what meals they need, how
Yeah.
many calories, and so
Mm.
on. And then they look at their budget and they figure out, okay,
Mm.
what can I eat, blah, blah, blah.
So you're
Yeah,
kind of prep meal for a week.
I
Like you
do.
need to
Yeah,
make your this is for Monday, Tuesday.
yeah.
Oh,
Or at
that's
least
interesting.
say, okay, like for 3 days a week, I need to eat
Mm.
some type of seafood. Could be
Mm.
dory or prawns or
Dory.
something or salmon, and
Okay.
then chicken, and then beef, and yeah,
Mm.
a mix of other things. And then always some type of fruit a few
Mm.
times a day. Yeah.
Nah, gitu Thinkers.
Yeah.
Kita harus bisa prep meal seperti Bapak MJ.
I also made a conscious effort to stop
Mm.
using sugar a
Mm.
few years ago, and also trying to limit my salt.
Mm.
But yeah,
But isn't that bitter if you don't adding some sugar or salt?
it's easy. Well, it's pretty much impossible if you're buying food outside of the home that you're not making,
Mm.
because pretty much everything that you buy at the store,
Mm.
processed food, it's probably got more sugar than you should
But you're
consume.
not using micin, right?
No, I
Matchy.
try not to use any. Like I might use olive oil occasionally, but I'll try not to. And I don't use salt or anything. I might put herbs and spices and whatnot. Yeah.
So you have any recommendation for a commuter like
Mm.
me, like any quick recipe for healthy meals?
Yeah. Well, look, I think preparing food shouldn't be difficult. If it takes more than 5 minutes, maybe you're doing something wrong. But there are little things simple if you want to go, like salad type stuff. Like you could buy
Mm.
celery, put some cheese in there.
Mm.
Uh, I don't know, stir fry type stuff without adding, oils or anything like that. Home
Mm.
produced type stuff. Um, foods that come straight from the markets, and things like that. Yeah.
But lately, if I see the social media,
Mm.
especially Instagram, I see like there are a lot of quick recipe meals,
Mm.
but it should contains of using air fryer and then microwave.
Mm.
Like we are commuters, we don't usually
Well,
occupy that
I mean,
kind
you
of
don't need to cook
equipment.
most vegetables if you want
Mm.
to go vegetable.
Mm.
Yeah, and mix it up with some cheese or something like that.
Okay.
Egg yolk is actually good fat. Oh yeah, someone keeps telling me I drink too much coffee. Well, apparently, if you drink a lot, it actually lowers your chances for multitudes of disease. Helps to improve. Well, it helps stop things like heart issues. It's even been known to help with limiting chances of getting cancers and all kinds of stuff. So next time you're telling me to stop drinking my coffee.
Jadi seperlunya gitu ya thinkers ya. Apalagi tips dari MJ ini kita buat salad sederhana gitu ya. Jadi yang tinggal potong-potong terus dikasih keju atau apa. Jadi biar healthy eating itu diterapkan juga di kehidupan sehari-hari kita kayak gitu. Nah, now let's move to the question list in here.
Okay.
Pendapat Tia dan MJ tentang budaya orang yang beli kecil sepulang ke sekolah. Nah, ini nih dari Ibra. How if you were buying like a street food in front of the school, like cimol, cilok.
Yeah, gorengan or something.
Yeah, fritters.
Well, like I said, as an adult, we know better. I'd like to think that our parents teach us what we should eat, and as an adult, well, you got to have some self-control because one day it will affect you. Like you're gonna know it eventually, whether it's 30 or 40 or 50. It's gonna hit you, and you're gonna wish you did the right thing.
Maybe the effect not like 1 or 2 years. It could be like 10, 20 years now.
Drink a lot of dairy. Well, you need. Well, it depends on your tolerances and whatnot.
But for me, it's okay if you're just buying like once a month.
Yeah.
Or like
Oh, of course. One thing that's interesting, I met this guy once at a supermarket, and he came up to me because I was buying sushi.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, I've been eating sushi all my life." And he looked about, in my opinion, he looked around, I don't know, in his 50s. But it turns out he was in his like 80s.
Oh.
And he says, I've been eating sushi my whole life, specifically after World War II. And I said, what do you mean, World War II? How old are you? He says, yeah, I'm in my 80s. But he was a prisoner in Japan during the war. And all they ate was sushi. So, So anyway, eat fresh, no oils at all, if possible. Don't add sugar. Look into, if you want to learn about what the problems are of sugar eating, check it out. It's pretty nasty, especially when you're talking about, diabetes and so on, which is a huge problem in Indonesia. Yeah. So,
okay.
Be responsible.
Okay, let's move on to another question. Gimana dengan orang yang suka makanan manis tapi rajin minum air putih? How if that's a person who sweet tooth, I guess, if you know, but they also consume mineral waters, like they drink, but they also buy coffee or another sweet things. For me, it's okay because I'm also sweet tooth. I love chocolate. I love coffee.
Look, we all do. We all do. But you got to look at like the science of what happens with insulin in your body. It's like any drug. Like every time you take more, you start to build a resistance. So after time, it's just going to be more difficult for you to manage your sugar levels. And so
sugar levels. You don't know if you're going to diabetic.
I mean, you could be naturally, genetically, what's the word, not going to be affected by diabetes.
Yes.
But, do you want to roll that dice? Obviously, just, everyone, it's okay to drink sugar occasionally, but don't be drinking 2 liters of Coke every day. That kind of thing. Coca-Cola, yeah.
It's actually zero sugar. Coca-Cola it contains much higher sugar than
it's
normal
ridiculous.
Cola, right?
It's something like that much sugar or something.
It's
something ridiculous. So if you don't have sugar for a few years and you taste Coke, it's like
you guys have to control your healthy eating.
Yeah.
You need to listen our
if you want to live long, There's no guarantee,
Yeah.
but it's definitely going to help improve your chances.
Okay,
Yeah.
last question, I guess.
Mm.
Delicious snacks 24/7. It is cheap and fastly enjoyable with unfortunate amount of sugar.
Mm.
How to throw this considered bad habit?
Well, like I said, maybe look at some pictures of people getting their feet cut off from diabetes. I don't know. Or slap yourself in the face a few times. No, there's heaps of different options out there. Like there's heaps of delicious vegetables you can eat, like carrot, sweet and delicious.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love carrot.
you know, I like pare.
Oh,
Yeah,
pare?
Yeah,
Isn't that too bitter?
yeah. I put it.
Oh, no,
It's
no way.
delicious, and
Okay,
it's actually really good for you.
last question, guys.
All right.
From Bu Arini. MJ, how do you think about quality of fruits and vegetables in Indonesia versus Australia?
Um. Oh, look. I think it's probably about the same in terms of the quality, but I think in Australia they're probably more picky. So if you're going to a supermarket, they're only going to choose the best of the best,
Okay.
which can be destructive for the farming industry, for the local farmers and so on. It kind of destroys that industry where a lot of these companies are importing products from other countries and so on. It's kind of not good for the, supporting local produce. But, I haven't seen any major difference in terms of quality. I think Indonesia's obviously got way more advantage in that the country's built for building agricultural, businesses because of the environment, the rich soils and everything. So you get better or more delicious, I think, fruit and stuff like that.
But
Or
isn't that the same fruit? Even
yeah,
if the quality is different, like they have a
it just
same nutrients
well,
like
it's just
vitamin A, vitamin
well, true. I
E.
mean, at the end of the day, you could do hydroponics, and it's going to be
Yeah.
scientific, and it's going to be exactly the
Mm.
same. But I guess, okay, one thing that's interesting that I do remember in Jakarta, up in the mountains, what is it, Puncak?
Mm.
I heard a story that they're throwing batteries into the
Okay.
into the farm, into the soil,
Mhm.
to help improve the redness of
Oh, yeah.
tomatoes. I can't remember the chemical within it, but you could probably do the same thing with banana peel. I think it's
Mm.
either nitrogen. I can't remember
But
now.
it's fine for you, right, to
Well, it's
consume it?
probably
Oh.
ridiculously poisonous. So yeah, you got to worry about the techniques and the
Mm.
chemicals and the pesticides and all those types of things. Yeah.
Okay, since we still have
Mm.
a bit time, we're going to talk about from Bulia. How many minutes do you take cook every day, MJ Butia? I usually don't cook Bulia. I
Mm.
usually buy because yeah, I cannot use my kitchen.
Mm.
Yeah, if you
You
know
could get like
family things,
a
yeah.
gas
Mm,
stove, a
yeah.
portable gas stove, a
Mm.
barbecue or
But if
something.
I cook like a simple menu, simple course like soup,
Mm.
simple salad with shredded carrot and mayo,
Mm.
it usually took like 30 minutes, I guess.
30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not include
What?
washing dishes.
Uh,
What about you?
I literally try and, like I said, if it takes me more than 5 minutes, there's something wrong.
Mm.
Obviously, the cooking stage itself might take 15 minutes, but we invested in an air fryer, and I fully suggest people do that.
Oh,
You can get them
interesting.
reasonably cheap now, but it's kind of groundbreaking. You know,
Mm.
it's like a microwave, but it's an oven, and it's just super great. You don't need to use oils or anything, and yeah, definitely worth investing in one of those. I think. Not sure about
Mm.
the power consumption, but yeah, definitely.
Jadi begitu ya Thinkers
Mm.
ya pendapat dari MJ dan Tia mengenai healthy eating bahwa kita harus menjaga pola makan kita karena itu tidak terjadi pada 1-2 tahun ke depan aja. Itu akan terjadi ketika kita punya anak 10 tahun, 20 tahun ke depan itu bakal ngefek ke kita seperti yang disebutin nanti kalau misalnya kita konsum gula terlalu banyak sekarang nggak ngefek, mungkin nanti bisa terjadi hal-hal yang tidak diinginkan seperti penyakit-penyakit lainnya seperti itu. Jadi itulah kenapa pentingnya healthy eating untuk kita semua seperti itu. Thank you thinkers.
All right, thanks,
We're going
guys.
to see you
See you next
next
week.
week.
All
Bye
right,
bye.
bye bye.